What's going on, guys? Nick the Harley guy. I got a 24 and a 23 Road Glide here. I'm going to go over with you guys the difference between the two in this video. If you're interested and you got some questions about these bikes, always feel free to comment below. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get to it. The first bike we'll hit on is going to be the 23. So Harley Davidson ran this body style from 2015 to 23. 2014, they're going through Project Rushmore. Big changes, hundreds of different changes on those bikes, and I might make a video on that next time. But you're going to have your fixed fairing, okay? So when you go to turn those bars, that fairing stays still. It's a really cool thing to have, especially if you're on a highway. It's going to reduce a lot of the head buffeting, just give you a pretty good ride. A few years back, they had the option on the specials to be chrome trim or the black trim. Along with that, you're going to have the 114 Milwaukee 8 engine with the 6-speed transmission. We're going to have the glossy inner fairing with it being a special. Along with that, you have the Boom GTS head unit, okay? This head unit itself, it's fully touchscreen, Gorilla Glass, just like an iPhone, anti-scratch, anti-glare, and it's fully Bluetooth, navigation. Got different options for Apple CarPlay and Android, sorry, I'm an Apple guy. You got your pockets on each side, give you a little bit of space to plug on this side your phone in or whatever you need to charge, or store some sunglasses, keys, whatever it would be. Dash, you got your center style gas dash with your gas cap on the right hand side, so obviously it's not a split tank anymore like it was back in the day. Gives you some room there. Now on the back of the saddlebags, you have the 2-inch extended bags, which a lot of people like the idea of having that. Gives you that kind of custom look, stretched rear end. Turn signal bullet indicators down here are going to be integrated, so when you hit your turn signal or brakes, they're both going to light up for you. Now on your 23 models, the bike itself weighed about 853 pounds, okay? With the power out of the 114, you're getting about 95 horse and about 118 foot-pounds of torque. Now that's from factory. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can do to upgrade those things, but from factory, those are the numbers you're looking at. When I dig into the 24, they did a ton of changes. I actually got the chance to go down to Tampa, Florida, meet the engineers that actually designed this whole bike and did the changes to it, ask questions and things like that. So let's kind of get into that. In the wind tunnel and spent hours and hours designing this fairing. Dynamically on this bike, when you ride this bike, when it comes to head buffeting, things like that, they knocked a lot of that out of the game. Along with that, let me hit the switch here. You get tons of light. So it's got the W style light. Turn signal integrated. So when you hit your turn signal, it's going to light up for you on each side. You can see them coming. Now, when it comes to the braking, they did a lot of upgrades on that also. On your rotor, you got a 13-inch rotor, so it's actually larger than prior years. And along with that, you're going to have a 4-piston Brembo brake up front here. So tons of stopping power, get you down the road and get you in, if you get in a tight spot and you need some brakes, you're going to have it with this thing. Now, engine, this is the fun stuff. It comes with the 117 Milwaukee 8, which obviously prior years you had that. But they consider this the Gen 2. They went in this engine, drilled out a bunch of stuff, lightened this bike up. When it comes to weight on this thing, it's obviously a lot lighter. And the cool part is you're 105 horse and 130 foot-pounds of torque. So compared to last year's model, 95 horse to 105, they stepped up a lot. And this is going to be twin cooled. So up front here, you're going to have the little cowl, but there's a radiator in there and fans. So it's going to run coolant through the exhaust ports. One of the big things, because you had twin cooling on your limiteds and things like that prior years, but they redid the channel that the actual coolant runs through. It runs right around that rear spark plug and the front plug. They did a test on the rear plug and actually checked the temperature, and it's 40 degrees cooler than it was prior years. So it's pretty huge. Obviously, things run cooler. They're going to run a lot better for you. So huge upgrade when it comes to the 117, and this bike's going to have different ride modes. So if you want sport mode to go out and rip around on, highway mode, and you got a custom mode. This bike's only 85% of its capability on the sport mode option. You can get in there, you can adjust throttle, you can adjust engine braking, you can get in there and adjust the mapping on the bike to make it ride the way you want that bike to ride. One of the favorite parts that I like that they upgraded is the bar placement. You guys that rode the older model Road Glides 23s and down, they had what I call the wheelbarrow bar. They're real low, they kind of got a hook to them. With these new bars, it feels so much better. When it comes to arm position, you can actually get the bar clamp right on top of here. So prior year Road Glides, you had to get in the fairing, things like that. You don't have to do that anymore. You got to sit on one of these things, I promise you. Now, the controls scare people sometimes because it looks like there's a lot. I can tell you, once you ride this thing for a little while, you get comfortable with where those controls are, and it's actually a lot easier than prior year models. Be able to hit the highs, the low beams, change the channel of music and things like that. just makes a lot more sense now. Now let's talk about the seat, okay? So they upgraded the seats on these things, gave you a little bit more back support, kind of like a step-up seat, and this is gonna have memory foam on it. So from prior years, you guys know, stock seats always aren't the best. These are actually very comfortable for you and your passenger. There's memory foam in the rear. This does have the day tripper package on it. So you have a backrest, heat shields, things like that. A few different upgrades. That's the cool thing with the 24s is that you can build this bike into an ST, into a special, into a limited, and make it the way you want it to ride. Now, let's get back to these bags, talk about these things. I've had a lot of questions when it comes to the material and things like that, so let's do it. Now, with these bags, they obviously redesigned these things. They're gonna be a little bit wider and they're not gonna be stretched, okay? A lot of people are kind of getting away from that stretched rear end thing, kind of going towards the performance style bike. Now, this is still a one-touch bag, so easy access to get in and out of this thing. And this is gonna be made out of a new material that is not gonna break on you. You can fill this thing up, get your knee up there, push it closed, do what you gotta do. Let's talk about this rear end, okay? They obviously changed some things up. They got away from your tri-bar style light with the bullets, and they did full LEDs. It's brake light, turn signal integrated. And then let's go from the side here. They're still able to be seen from the side. So you're safe, nice and bright. On your dash, they got rid of the gas cap. I know, I've lost my cap, I forgot it. You got an option here, nice, easy to close, open and close. And you're gonna have the Skyline operating system. Now from factory, this bike will come with a 4-channel 200-watt amp, okay? So if you decide, hey, I wanna put speaker lids in the back of this, you got the option to do that without having to add on an amp. But I can tell you right now, the audio on this thing is awesome. It's nice and clear. You can actually get in here, and I'll show you here in a second. You have the option to go into your sound settings, and you can actually get in here, and there's a built-in equalizer with different types of music you want to listen to. All the way to the bottom, click on custom, and you can adjust this music and set it however you'd want. It's kind of cool. There's also different modes for display, okay? So click on your display button, click on layout, and this is gonna be your cruise mode. Got your sport mode, which is pretty neat. Click over here, click on your touring mode. So you got your speedo and everything here, and then this whole side of this is gonna be navigation for you. Earlier I talked about different ride modes, okay? So in your bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you see your different ride mode. On your right-hand control, you click your mode button, and that's gonna switch you through. So you got highway, you're gonna have sport mode, which is the fun one. You're gonna have rain mode, and then you have a custom mode. Like I said a little bit ago, you can go into here and you can do a custom mode to set this bike up to have the throttle response you want, to have everything set the way you want it to ride. Really, really cool feature. And you can tell a huge difference between those ride modes when you're actually out riding. All right, guys, so that kind of wraps it up. I didn't hit all the key points. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in these bikes. This is the wiring harness that dropped 2 pounds just off of copper. The tank itself is 2 pounds lighter. The bike itself is 18 pounds lighter, and that's gonna be all top weight. So if you think about it, top weight on a motorcycle is not good. So they did a lot of good changes. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment below. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to see any more bikes, do some reviews on, let me know, and I'll try to get to them, guys. Yeah, hope you have a great rest of the day. Ride on.